On. Good morning. How's it going?
I'm going pretty good. I'm just a couple calling. I pulled back a lead that I had, and I also had a question on that same lead. Guy had a condo. He wanted to do a 3-year lease option, but I was wondering how do we go about doing the condos and if we.
Sure. Condos, townhomes, that's one of the frequently asked questions we get here with regards to lease options. You hear us talk about, a lot about single-family homes and focusing on houses. Now, there are some markets, for example, San Francisco is one, Washington is another market where condos and townhouses are the hot item. If that's what's going on in your market, go ahead and move forward on a rent-to-own or a lease with an option to buy, since there is a demand for those particular properties. If you do a heat map analysis, so you kind of get an idea of what zip codes are desirable, you can go in and take a look at those zip codes. And if it's mostly condos and townhomes that are available in that area, then go ahead and move forward on a rent-to-own or a lease with an option to buy. Now, Long, you're in an area where, single-family homes are also available. With this particular seller, paint us a picture on what's going on with this condo. Is it just a rental property? Did they used to live there? What's the seller's situation?
What I heard from him, and he did a long talk with me, he told me that he bought it, and I guess it's either underwater or he's paying more than it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
When he sent me the text, I guess he told me he was being sarcastic. But when I talked to him, he lightened up, I guess, and he was very nice. He said he didn't want me to do the deal just because I guess he kind of quote-unquote knew how lease options work.
Mm-hmm.
And he was telling me that to get the whole scam, quote-unquote. So I was wondering, I was thinking maybe he does want to sell it, but I don't know if he wants to sell it to me. He asked me my age. I told him I was 25. He was 30.
Okay.
And I told him, how's your credit? Well, I'm rebuilding my credit. And he asked me other questions, but it sounded like he wanted to get rid of it, but he just didn't want to get rid of it to the wrong person.
To the wrong person.
He didn't want to hassle. He's renting it right now. He said he's renting it to a cop, and he's not a really good cop. I guess he's not making payments or something. So, but he told me about how the rent was. He said he's renting it for about $800, and he said, if once I get my credit bill back up, I could, buy a house for it and make payments for $800. It was coming back and forth.
Gotcha.
I just had to let him go eventually. He didn't sound motivated enough.
Okay. Well, let's do this. With regards to that particular lead, and I'm going to, fast forward a little bit, I would set up a 3-way call. We'll set you up with one of our agents or brokers to have a conversation with this guy to see if he's really serious about, wanting to sell or move this particular property. Now, there's a couple of yellow flags that were raised based on this particular lead. One is that it's a townhome. Still possible. We can still structure a rent-own deal and offer it and put it on the market and, see what tenant buyers think or say. What you can do starting today is to post an ad on Craigslist, okay, and start marketing this particular quote-unquote property. You don't have to put the address, but get some pictures, type in the address in that area, and offer it online. If you're getting hits from your ad from people saying, hey, we're looking to buy or rent to own a condo, then that'll tell you or give you more motivation to continue to pursue the lead or the particular deal. Right? There's already somebody in the property, so that's another yellow flag. I would find out when the lease is going to expire so that we can plan accordingly. If it's going to be vacant in August, then we can structure a rent-to-own structure it as a rent-to-own that will be made available in August. But you can start marketing that property or that area today, ahead of time. Right?
Should I call him back and ask him? What should I ask him? When I left the conversation, I didn't say I'd call back or anything. So should I go ahead and call back and then stress?
Yeah, I would call him back and say something like this. Hey, Long, this is Gil. I just wanted to follow up with you. We had a great conversation the other day about your condo. I just wanted to review a couple of things for you. How soon is this property going to, how soon will it be made available? Is there a set lease in place, or is it just month to month with this particular tenant that you have right now, right? And also, I noted that you might have been having some problems with this tenant. I just wanted to touch base and, see if the tenant has come around and if they're paying their bills on time, and, if they'd be willing to, if they're interested in staying, will you keep them, or would you prefer to have a better quality tenant in the property? So you're looking for the problem or pain that you can fix, resolve, so you can slot yourself there in the middle, or structure a solution to help the seller out and get paid in the process. Right? And then lastly, last thing I would definitely find out and verify with him. Hey, Long, I just want to make sure, and I know this may not be the perfect solution, right? But that the condo is available if we could rent it for a few years and buy it afterwards. Right? Would you still consider that option?
How do you go about tackling the idea that they know supposedly more about these options?
I kind of just go along. I like having those leads and conversations because it allows me to talk about the rent-to-own process, right? So I'd ask them, hey, Long, okay, great. So it sounds like you know a little bit about, the rent-to-own or a lease with an option to buy. Everybody does them a little bit differently. Tell me a little bit of, have you done it before? Okay. Have you offered another one of your properties on a rent-to-own? Do you know of anybody else that's done a rent-to-own in their particular property? So I'll try to get an idea of their background, okay? And when you ask those questions, it's going to become clearer to you if this guy knows exactly what he's talking about, or if it's one of those things where he just heard about it, read about it, and just declared himself an expert, right? So I want to find out.
That's what he gave me a radio station to actually listen to.
Oh, gotcha, guys. So if that's the case, then, again, pre-screen him, and if it really sounds like he doesn't know much about it, I would ask those questions on my next follow-up call and verify that he is open to a lease with an option to buy. And I would ask him, hey, are you available to meet, in the area? What's your availability like? Maybe I can touch base with you again and see if, we can, talk about or take a look at offering this property on a rent-to-own. Right? So
he made it clear. He made it clear that he didn't mind doing the lease option.
Lease option. So
yep.
Text him, so you can just have this conversation via text. You want to schedule a follow-up appointment when he's available, and then we'll have you on the call with somebody on our acquisition side to talk about the rent-to-own more and either go for the contract with this guy or rule it out that it's not a possible lead. There's really just not enough motivation there, or there isn't a problem. And if there's neither one of those, then move on, basically,